Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be working on this retro pastel winter tumbler. First we're going to start off with a prepped and painted base. I used a candy pink from Rust-Oleum to spray paint my tumbler before I applied the glitter. And here you'll see me mixing a custom mix, which I cannot give you guys the recipe to because there may or may not be something coming out in the future. But I've linked all of the products I've used in the description box below. You guys can mix up your glitter however you would like, or do this with an entirely different color. But the main base of this glitter color is Pink Ice from Peachy Glitters. It was a limited edition glitter, so there's a chance that you're not going to be able to get it, but you do have other options with a comparable pink color. I do just want to remind you guys to make sure you're patting down your glitter. If you're using a chunkier glitter, it's going to cause lots of extra coats of epoxy if you're not doing that. And especially with the little polka dots that we're going to be doing, you don't want a super thick tumbler. So just make sure you're doing that ahead of time before it gets cured onto your cup, and then that will save you a lot of thickness on your cup in the end. Once I had 2 coats of epoxy over my glitter and it was smooth to the touch, I cut out this retro template. It's from Sugar Wing Cut on Etsy. The original file has 4 separate wavy lines. I pulled the file into Cricut Design Space and I clicked the contour button, and you can remove lines. If you've never used contour, you can remove the lines on the SVG files. I just removed one line, so it was basically a double width into one line, if that makes sense, or like one wavy line, I guess. I don't really know how to explain it. It's basically double the width of the original 4 lines, and then I just cut it out on my printed vinyl, and I removed one of the cuts out of the center, so you see that glitter peeking through that middle wave. So once I got my printed vinyl applied, I went through and made sure to pop any little bubbles that may have been caught under the vinyl. And then I always cut my template about a ½ an inch over what I need to fit the height of the cup, just in case I mess anything up. So I'm going to go in with my edging tool and I'm going to trim the top and the bottom to make sure those lines are completely straight. Once that's done, I went in with Evergreen. This is like a medium fine mix. I didn't want super chunky glitter because we already have 2 coats of epoxy on this cup, and so I'm putting it in my little tea strainer. I'm not really sure what the exact term is for it. I'm putting that mix into my little tea strainer thing, and I'm just shaking out all of the fine glitter. I don't want any of that chunky in there, so we're going to tap that out, and that's what we're going to use for these little dots that we're doing next. And the other 2 glitters are already fine. So once I get that done, I'm going to go in with just a little dab of pink, purple, and green acrylic paint. I just got these cheapies from Michael's. They're like 79 cents or something. And then I go in, I know the bottle says it's the Crystalite glitter glue, but this is the Mod Podge. The glitter glue takes quite a bit longer to dry than Mod Podge does, so things like this or my geodes, I always use my Mod Podge, even though I hate it, over my Crystalite glitter glue, because I don't want any cross-contamination on the colors. We're going to be working on these little dots very quickly. It's very easy to, when you're sprinkling the glitter, cross-contaminate those. If it's not dry, they're just all going to end up being a mixture of the 3 glitter colors. So That's my little spiel why I recommend using Mod Podge over the other for things like this. Next, I'm going in with these little dotting tools. I got these from Michael's. I did link the dotting tools below. I found them on Amazon for about half the price, and you actually get more little dotting tools. So go ahead and use those if you don't already have them. This is the first time I've used these, actually. So this was brand new to me, and what I found that works best for me is when you're dipping your little dotting tool in the paint to make sure that it's kind of even, because you'll see me struggling here. It wasn't even on my tool, and when I tapped it onto my cup, it gave me like an oblong circle, kind of an oval. I don't know, it did not look cute. So just when you dab it on, like tap it onto the cup and kind of roll it in a circular motion. If it doesn't give you the perfect circle when you initially put the paint down, it worked pretty well, I guess. You'll see I struggled in the beginning, and then I kind of figure it out as I'm going along. The little dots were definitely easier to do than the bigger dots were. And as usual, I always start with my darkest color first and then move up to my lightest color. So we're using this purple. This is Barney from Peachy, and then I go in with pink ice, like I had mentioned. That is the main base of the original pink glitter that we had laid down, so I wanted to play off of that. I just kind of wanted a subtle, kind of like a Christmas tree bulb kind of a vibe, but also I wanted this to be not necessarily a Christmas cup. I wanted you to be able to use it all winter long, something that didn't scream Christmas. So it kind of is just a dual purpose kind of a cup, I guess. I let my dots cure for a couple of hours and went back through and I brushed off any excess glitter with a chip brush, and then I spray sealed it. I did 3 coats of the Krylon triple thick spray over these dots, and then I put a coat of epoxy over it and let that cure overnight. The next morning I cut the offset for the wavy lines from the template that I purchased on Etsy. It comes with it, and I cut that in a silver chrome from Tech Wrapped Craft. I did link that in the description box as well. I just hand placed these because the template that I cut out obviously was altered, and so I decided to hand place them just to make sure everything kind of stayed where it should be. And once I had that applied, I went over it with a coat of polyacrylic. Like I've mentioned in all my other videos, I use this on every single metallic vinyl that I use. Metallic is notorious for lifting under epoxy. Save yourself the headache. Just put a coat of polyacrylic over the vinyl work that you did. I let it spin for about 30 minutes or till it's dry to the touch, and then I went in with my regular coats of epoxy. For whatever reason, my camera did not record me applying my snowflakes and the decal that I put on the bottom of the cup. So I'll just tell you guys, I use the same chrome vinyl that I'm using for the striping. I cut the snowflakes out. First of all, they're from VMD Designs. I got the file in her Patreon group. You can buy them on Etsy. I've linked that as well. I cut the snowflakes at 1.25, 1.75, and 2 inches, and I just hand placed those, and then I cut my freezing decal at 3 inches wide, placed that, did another coat of polyacrylic because it's metallic vinyl, let that dry till it was dry to the touch, and then I did 1 final coat of epoxy. This cup was done. I am obsessed with it. Mal from Made by Manny and Mel, she's a very good friend of mine. She loves retro stuff. I thought this was a perfect cup for her. She's into pastels. This was one of the cups in my mystery boxes, so I hope she loves it. Let me know what you guys thought in the comments. Go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you click the bell button so you are notified every week when I put out a new tutorial. If you'd like to join our Facebook group, I've linked that in the description box as well, and I will see you guys next weekend.